Hello, Gemma Gilbert here. Uh, Today we're talking about the differences between one-on-one course and group programs and how you know if you're ready to launch a course, if you're ready to launch a group program. And I'm going to be sharing with you literally the only two questions you need to ask in order to know whether you're ready and which one's going to be right for you, and what not to do. I'm just going to be sharing like two huge mistakes I see people make that lead to huge disappointment and crushing, disappointing results, basically. So I would love to know from you just to start. What are you mainly offering right now? Is it one-on-one? Is it courses, or if it's groups? Okay, so the first question you need to ask yourself to get clarity on where you should start, one-on-one course or group, is do you have an offer that sells? If you don't have an offer that is selling, that people are buying, then you need to start with one on one. Right? Why? One on one, basically, because if you can't sell it one on one, you're not going to be able to sell it in a course or a group type program. So one on one is your opportunity to take it to market in a very low pressure environment, where you don't need to offer it to tons and tons of people, but to say, hey, I have this thing, this service, it offers this result. Would you like to work with me on it? Now, if people aren't willing to pay for that at this stage, then we need to work on your sellable offer. We need to work on your messaging. And one on one requires you to have much, much fewer clients in order to actually make a decent amount of money. So we don't want to be getting the messaging wrong at the point we're going to a course or a group program, because then we need lots of people to say yes. And if we can't get people to say yes at the one-on-one service, it's going to be impossible, right? If you can't sell it to one person, why would you be able to sell it to 5, 10, 20, 30 people? Now, sometimes people come back at me on this and say, well, no, Gemma, I can't sell my one-on-one because it's high end, right? Because of the high price point. That's the reason I can't sell my one-on-one. So if I turn it into a course, it will be lower end. I can offer it for much cheaper. Therefore, it'll be much more accessible and easier for people to buy. I hear you, but I challenge you on this because this is falling into the myth that people are saying no because of your price point, right? And I would argue that for 99% of the time, that just isn't true. You might think it's price point, they might even say it's the price point, but it's not. It's not. I promise you, it's not. It is them not seeing the value of the thing you are offering, even if they say they do, and them not fully believing in that result and that they can get it. So 99% of the time, it is not down to the price, but sometimes we fool ourselves into thinking it is. And I know this, and an example from my own business is I can get very easily someone to say yes to my one-on-one service for £10,000. It's much, much harder for me to get people to say yes into a £66 a month membership, right? It's much harder to sell that lower end price point because the value of my one-on-one service is so much clearer to articulate than a lower end membership is. So I just want you to kind of really understand that if you can't sell one-on-one, it's not going to be easier for you to sell a group or a course. Now, if you can sell one-on-one and you are getting clients for your one-on-one and you're thinking, okay, this is working, I have a message that is resonating, when is the right time to turn it into like a group program, move to that one-to-many model, or even a course? Okay, so the second really simple question to ask yourself is, how big is my audience, right? How big is your engaged audience? How many people are on your email list? How many people are following you on social? Now, if that is like under 500 people, honestly, I'd stick for one-on-one for a bit and I'd build up that roster until you're getting one-on-one clients easily. If you've already gone past that point, right, and you've got maybe 500 to 1,000 people on your audience, I think you are then in a really, really good position to turn that into a group program, not a course, right? A group program. Now, what is a group program? A group program is essentially where we take the service that you deliver one-on-one and we think, how would I deliver this to more people? And the beauty of starting with one-on-one, where I recommend all my clients start, is that through working one-on-one with people, you have devised a framework, right? You've begun to figure out, oh, okay, with most clients I work with, I do this activity, this activity, this activity, and they tend to do them in this sort of order. So your one-on-one gives you the opportunity to define your signature framework. And even before you're ready to move on to group, whether you doubt whether you've kind of got enough leads there, even before you're ready to do that, you can already start leveraging those resources to cut back on your time. So you can create how-to videos, you can create assets that you can get your one-on-one clients to actually go and watch or complete, rather than you always delivering that content to them. So you can get really, really smart with the way you do things. So if you started doing that, then what you'd have over time is actually you'd already have this group framework ready to go. And then very simply, you can turn that into a group program, which is exactly what I teach on my signature program, Amplify. DM me if you want to hear about it. So 500 to 1,000 people, ideal spot to be thinking, okay, this could work as a group program. And ideally, you've got a few people in mind that you could literally reach out to and be like, I'm thinking about running a group program on this topic. Are you interested? So you don't even have to do a big launch in order to start a group program. So when is the right time to launch a course, right? And this is often posed as sort of like the holy grail of services, right? Because there's a lot of people peddling this idea that courses are passive. And honestly, there is nothing that winds me up more than this perspective, because there is nothing passive about a course. Firstly, it's a shed load of upfront work. But secondly, it's entirely different to selling services. So it's not like, oh, I can sell my services, then I can sell a course. You need a huge volume of people in order to make a course successful. So you have to have really solid audience growth strategies in place. And the big mistake, I told you I'd share with you the big mistake I see people make, is this: they decide sort of year 1 or year 2, I think I'm going to do a course. It'd be great to have some passive income, have some money just rolling in without me doing anything. And because people are peddling this perspective that this is what you can do. But selling a course is like selling a physical product, right? It's a very different sales strategy. You need volume and you need a very strong sales strategy for selling that course. And people often don't know that when they go into it. So they're thinking it's this sort of, holy grail passive income strategy, and it's just not. Now, one of the reasons I really dislike the course model is because courses that have no accountability in them, as in you buy the course and you do it yourself, have such low completion rates, like under 5% completion rates. Now, if people aren't completing your course, they're not going to get results. And what does that mean for your reputation? What does that mean for your business if people aren't getting results because they're not completing that course? And if you're wondering if this is true, I want you to ask yourself, how many courses have you got sat in your inbox that you have never done, that you bought because you thought, oh, I might need that, or because they had a really compelling launch and they just pushed you and pushed you and pushed you until you bought the course? But if you're set on the course idea and you really want to kind of grow a course-based business model, I want you to go in with your eyes wide open and be prepared to build out that strategy and actually look at what it would like to run a course-based business and how you can ensure your students actually go through and get the best result. But I would say don't even consider running a course like that until you have an audience of at least 1,000 to 2,000 people who you can market that to. But the magic for me is when you combine the course structure with the group program structure. So you don't even have to choose, right? I've just given you the reasons I really dislike courses. But group programs are magical, right? Because you get lots of people struggling with the same thing and you take them on a journey together. And you can use all of the benefits from the course model, as in you can create pre-recorded content for them to consume, but you have a live element as well, an accountability element or a coaching element if you're a coach, that allows them to have both the interaction of a group program and the passive kind of learning, which saves your time, that you get in a course. And this model is my favorite because it's totally scalable. So not only can you serve lots and lots of people, you can significantly increase your impact. You can free up masses of your time because you're moving from one-on-one to group and you're serving one-to-many. And it's scalable to any height you want, right? You can grow that group program as big as you want and bring these wonderful souls together to actually get that transformation with you, because you are keeping them accountable throughout it, right? So we have just gone through like those 2 questions again that you need to ask in order to know which model is right for you. Is your offer selling, and how big is your audience? And if you're at that point where you're really interested in turning your one-on-one into a group and learning how you can leverage kind of the course model with the group model together, and start to literally make your income explode and your impact at the same time, then send me a DM, because that's exactly what we do in my 6-month mentorship program, Amplify. See you later.